Aaron Solomon, a former Nashville radio and television personality, tried to kill his wife, molested his daughter Gracie, and now he's been accused by his daughter and his wife Angelia to have murdered his own son, Grant Solomon. Despite these allegations and evidence that points to him as the murderer, Aaron Solomon has not been charged with any wrongdoing and denies any involvement in Grant's death and abuse towards his daughter. However, many people are calling for a fair and unbiased investigation, as it is hard to imagine that a father could commit such barbaric crimes against his own family.
The 911 call that Aaron put into the police department seemed almost impossible to believe, based on where he was standing and based on the findings of the body of his son. Nothing in the body showed that he was run over by the car that Aaron supposedly said he was. There was no record of anything like that happening. There was a slight bruise at the back of his head, but none of the people there actually said, except for him, that the body was found under the car. When speaking to the mother, however, she said that they recovered a black box from the vehicle. And on that black box, they found some very interesting bits of information. One being that there was indeed someone in the driver's seat based on weight recorded by that black box. Not only was there someone in that seat, but the gas was also pressed, and so was the brake. There was also record of someone leaving the seat, someone's hand on the steering wheel that controlled it. If all of that is true, how could both stories then be reality? Because in Aaron's story, he says that no one was behind the wheel and it may have just taken off on a malfunction. Yet even after the events, he was driving that same car around with no issue. There are certain things that seem suspicious to the mind, but then there are things that are overly suspicious in proof. And this just happens to be one of them. As we dig a little bit deeper into this story, you will start seeing some very nefarious connections, whether borne out in fact or not. They have to be investigated just on the merits of them being way too close for comfort.
So speaking of too close for comfort, he had his daughter and his wife in a bad situation. He was taking this little girl into the bathroom, giving her baths, showers, using the bathroom with her, all different kind of crazy stuff, and wouldn't allow the mother in there. So we already know some of the things that he was doing. So she made a video and she talked about it. And some of the things that she spoke on is, now that she's thinking back, she believes that this guy was taking pictures and videos of her while she was in the shower. He would freely walk in while she was in there, and his excuse would be stupid stuff like, I need to get a towel or something like that. She also recalled, and I'm just going down the list of some of the things that she mentioned. She also recalls her getting out of the shower and being wrapped in a towel, sitting on his lap, and he combing her hair. Kind of Joe Biden like, but that's another story. And she does recall that when this started as far back as is when she was in the first grade. And one of the disturbing things, one of the biggest things that really bothered me about this, Marlon, and I want to hear, I really want to hear from you about this, and then we'll go over some of the other things that she said, and actually maybe even show the video. But she mentioned that both her grandparents on both sides knew about what was going on, and they all still supported this man. It must be some evil, barbaric things going on in Tennessee, which is another story in itself too. Well, what is your thoughts on the grandparents knowing and just still supporting him and not doing nothing about it, man? It's just crazy to me.
Some time ago, we had a discussion on the mix about this exact same concept. Although we limited it to the Black community, let's not get it twisted that it happens in almost every community. There is an instance somewhere where somebody is doing something to a child and the family stays quiet, either by coercion, by fear, or by approval, but they stay silent. This seems to be one of those occasions where the grandparents are complicit, regardless of their reasons for it, in allowing something to continue, especially if they say they knew. Now, the crazier side to all of this is not only what he did, but that she was young. And when she finally spoke out, she was still young. She was 14 when she spoke out about this, 14, 15. And when she did start to speak out, the odd thing about all of it is that not only did the family not back her up, but everyone wanted her to shut up about it, including the church.
I want to get back to that too, and I know you got a lot on that, but I want to go through at least a couple more things that she spoke about in this video. So another disturbing thing that all of it. Listen, all of it is disturbing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but some of these things like really stand out to me. And it really, watching the video was really it was tough. You know what I'm saying? So she talked about how she woke up and had rashes in between her legs and her privates. It's hard for me to even say it, but her, you know what? Here, let me play the video and let her say it, because I don't want to repeat that out of my mouth.
When I was at his house at night, I would sometimes feel like I couldn't control my body, or I would get sleepy and wake up in my dad's bed. One night, I woke up with rashes on my inner thighs, both, and my privates also burned frequently. One of Grant's friends remembers looking over the upstairs railing and seeing my head slung over.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to say that. I would rather you hear it from her mouth, because that's just too sickening for me to open up my mouth and even say that. I can't imagine it. So
Yeah, sometimes the victim's words are the most, the ones that elicit the most reaction, not just reaction, but action. Again, mind you, if you listen to what she said, any reasonably thinking adult human would at least investigate something about what she said. In any case, even if you didn't 100% agree, believe, the investigation phase should have kicked off in your mind that it needs to take place. Not what really took place, which was anyone sharing that story, her story, the video of her speaking, the church that her father attended, which was also attended by the Tennessee governor, and we'll get to that in a minute, sent a cease and desist letter to an individual that was helping get this message out. You can take a look at the letter right here. Now, that letter was sent, and the lady was told that she was doing something that was defamatory towards the church. Meanwhile, you don't even look into the merits of the situation. You instantaneously tell the people they should not be sharing that story because it's defamatory. I would think if there was someone in your congregation saying something this nefarious about people that attend your congregation, you would say, please tell me what I need to do to get to the bottom of this so this doesn't happen to more people. But you shut it down to the point where you include a lawyer, not just any lawyer. You go out and get one of the top dog lawyers to defend you. That lawyer being Todd McMurdy. If you don't know the name, you will by the end of this series. You'll understand who Todd McMurdy is. He tried running for office, failed. He lost to Mr. Massey in Kentucky. He also represented Mr. Kyle Rittenhouse. So he's a big time, well known lawyer for not just defamation, but for civil suits. The crazier part of all of this is that there is a tri-link to this, all hinged on the same church that sent the cease and desist letter. The father, friends with the pastor, the governor, friends with the pastor, the lawyer, friends with the pastor.
let me cut in so we can cover a very important thing that I want to say about the lawyer. If he was the same one, it may have been a different lawyer. So I don't want to get a defamation lawsuit. So I want to make sure I clear that up, right? So don't be laughing, dude. So anyway, he allowed his attorney to get in his daughter's face as if she was some criminal that he was interrogating. These words came out of her mouth. He allowed this. Imagine this. Imagine a man allowing another man to get in his daughter's face so close that where she can smell cigarettes on his breath and interrogate her. See, that is a sign to me. I don't want to get a defamation lawsuit. That is a sign to me of potential pedophilia behavior. New word. So, but the thing is, How could you dare to stand for anybody? Look, when my wife, when my wife get loud with my kids and get in their face, it bothers me. You understand what I'm saying? How dare me allow another man to get in my daughter's face and do that? It's just too many bad signs surrounded around this whole thing. That something is not smelling right. And I'm telling you, I think this is much bigger than Aaron and the dirty things that he doing, because he's tied in with a bunch of these do dirties, and this thing can get ugly. And right now, as we stand here speaking, I'm going to guarantee you that the wife, Angelia, and the daughter is living in fear, and that's pathetic.
The preacher, this might explain why he would allow something like that, by the way. The preacher, if you want to know, his name is Steve Berger, Berger. He used to be the pastor of Grace Chapel. He has since left, falling out with the higher ups there for being an extremist. Now, whether that be political or biblical or whatever, there are signs of contention over his viewpoints, and that he has been way too, what's the best way to say this? Aggressive in his delivery. Now, if you take the personality type of the man that's no longer there, you take the results of Mr. Aaron, and then you Solomon, and then you take his link as a journalist to the governor of Tennessee, and you take one of the more aggressive defamation lawsuit lawyers, what do you get? You get an out for the person doing something. Hear me out. Listen to, at least this is what the chain that I ran by Corey, he seems to kind of agree with it. I think he has his own twist on the chain of command here, but here's my chain of command. You have a man who does not like his son getting old enough to defend the daughter from his molestation. You got to get rid of the kid, because when he gets old enough, he could do something. You get rid of the kid. Now people are starting to talk out, including your daughter. Your daughter you don't want to put your fingerprints on this to say that you need to shut her up. So you go to the one person that people will think you should be able to listen to him, which is the church. Go to the church. Church issues a letter. They have the backing and the protection of anybody else who might be coming after the church, which is a defamation lawyer in Mr. What's his name again?
And no, the pastor.
No, McMurdy, Mr. McMurdy, right? So you got McMurdy in your corner. Meanwhile, you have, if anything does go past that, you have the backing of the state with your hands in the governor's pocket. Now, as a journalist, you also have power over the governor by saying whatever you have to say and can't say about the governor to influence his election. To me, this seems like a power play on the side of Aaron in order to cover up the things that he's done. And he has every utility that's available to him at his disposal. He has the church at his disposal. He has the governor at his disposal. And then he has a defamation lawyer on hand. It seems to me like he could get away with just about anything he chooses to say. Thoughts?
Yeah, let's go to a commercial break, and I share those right after that.
Introducing the sweetest addition to your cupboards. Be Favored. Be Favored, the honey parlor, features 4 irresistible flavors. Southern apple pie for the sweet tooth in you. Organic elderberry, packed full with antioxidants. Little Hot Mama for the adventuresome with a penchant for heat. Or Tropical Paradise. Help your palate escape the norm. Each jar is carefully made with the best ingredients to ensure top quality and outstanding customer experience. Be Favored. Our products will leave you wanting more and are extremely affordable. Please feel free to check out our website. That's be-favored.com.
My thoughts on what you said is it would be hard to debunk that or debate that, because it's really crystal clear. The only thing that I will add to it is that I believe, in which, I'm not telling you nothing new, is that there's obviously many more people tied into this, all the way down to the police department, the police officers. And I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on with this, because how do you have that much evidence against you, and then nothing happens? So let's get into to what he actually did, or allegedly did. Murdered his son. and like you said earlier, none of the stuff that's going on with this does not make sense. I think it would help draw a better picture for the audience if we can just go ahead and play the 911 audio real quick.
My name is Aaron Solomon.
And you said
Oh
you're
my God.
at 1357 South Water Avenue, right?
Yes.
How old
Yes.
is the male?
He's 18. He just turned 18 a couple weeks, about a month ago. It's my son. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is not good.
Is he awake and
Oh, please
talking to
hurry.
you?
I don't know. I don't think so. He's not alert, right? No, he's out. And he's trapped. I got 3 guys here, and he's trapped under the truck.
Yeah, okay, so you heard the call, and it does not sound like, the call from a dad that's really concerned about his son. But that's just my opinion, right? Okay, so let's go deeper. The son has been very verbal about some of the things that was going on in his house with his girlfriend and different friends, and very very open about this stuff.
Yeah.
So he even talked to her about it, and there's an interview of her speaking on it, and she was saying that he even told her that he said that he was going to help his sister when he get 18. Now I know that in a lot of the news reportings, it was being stated that he intended to help by legalities, but I think that he had a clear understanding that the legal way of doing things was not going to work out against his dad, because dad had too much power. I think he had that figured out. So let's just be real and put the real twist on this where it belongs. And I'm gonna just speak my mind and be truthful about this. Is that all right with you, Marlon? All right, let's do it. So I think that regardless to what he may or may not have said, it was clear that he probably was going to try to kill him or do whatever he needed to do to stop his dad. And I'm not saying that to make him out to be a bad person, because I don't see him as a bad person. I see him as an amazing person, because he wanted to stand up and fight for his sister, despite the fact that he had been abused by his dad also, again, allegedly, right? So if that's the case, he could have easily been intimidated and shut down. And I have a hunch that that's probably what he may have done if it had just been only him, but it was his sister involved, and that he couldn't take. And one thing about it, when you cross somebody to that degree and you look them in their face and you look them in them eyes, you know what's there. I think he could see that his son was going to strike, and he decided to strike first.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I can completely agree with that based on his, okay, I have kids. If my son was wedged underneath a car, I guarantee you money right now, I would find some sort of superhuman strength to lift that bad boy up. Watch me call you on the phone while trying to raise that car up off of that boy. You'd have to tell me, don't move the car. And you'd be hearing me still trying to move the car and trying to talk to him on the phone. If you listen to that conversation that he's having with 911, he has zero concern. Oh my God. Oh man, this is so bad. Oh wow.
Dude, he never ever went down to check on him. And it was saying in the video, how do you know that he bleeding out of his mouth? You're not even down there, and never went down there one time. It's crazy, man.
It is there were burnout marks too on the floor for the wheel. Now, this is the part we forgot. There were burnout marks of the car and swerving. If the car just rolled, you trust me, you're not gonna have none. Because remember, you got to have the brake undone and you have to have the gas pressed in for the tires to go. Okay, if it's just rolling, I don't know if people understand how cars work. Cars don't work like that. Okay, okay,
Yeah, not to mention the black box tell a whole different story.
whole different story.
Whole different story.
So when I look at this case on the surface, just on the surface, and I'm not even a lawyer, just on the surface, with the kinds of questions we have, they cannot just be answered by asking one person, did you? I need to find out where you were. I need fingerprints on the car. I mean, there's okay, like you mentioned, the police. You never investigated anything inside the car to see if there was any fingerprints anywhere? Nothing? Come on now.
Man, it's crazy. Well, he started driving man. Listen, man, a truck that rolled over on one of my kids. I couldn't drive that truck no more, man. But hey, my name is Corey. I'm different. I get it, but none of this stuff is adding up. And I listen. If you would ask me, what would I like to see? I would like to see what the family want: a fair and unbiased investigation, and I think they deserve it. And the fact that they're not getting that shows that this city is corrupt to the floor. And it's more to dig into. It's more to find out here. How do you let this man get away with all that, even with all the evidence that's been displayed? And this stuff is all over the internet, but it's not all over the internet, if you understand what I'm saying. This thing has been kind of suppressed, but the daughter, the daughter, she was extremely brave, and I commend her for sitting in that chair and reading that letter. And I know that had to be extremely hard to do. I try to tell stories sometime about things that I did with my son, you know what I'm saying, teaching bad habits and things like that. And it get rough for me to tell that story. And this is nothing close to what this young lady is going through. And she sat there and she told that story. So I tip my hat to her. I commend her, and I'm glad she did. And I hope that that she gets the justice that she's looking for. And I hope that she gets the closure that she needs, because that's got to be a really tough deal. I couldn't imagine me being in a situation where these things are happening to me and I have nobody to tell. People talk about this. And in fact, my nephew spoke on this on the show the other day, that he would have killed, he'd have gave his left arm for a bad dad rather than no dad. And I had what I consider to be a bad dad. But you know what? If anything like that was happening to me, trust me, I had a daddy to call, and he was coming. She didn't even have that. She didn't even have a bad dad. Not even a bad dad. Nothing. Nobody to call, because bad dad is doing all the bad things to her. And that's a sad story. So I really do. I hope and pray that she get the justice that she wants and the help that she needs.
Indeed. This case is ugly. It's an ugly case. It's dark all around. And the one person that is the linchpin of it is still out there free. And if you care about justice, then I would hope that you give this case some light so we can get exactly what needs to get gotten, which is justice.
So do us a huge favor, and listen. And this is more for the family than anything. Share this video out and share the other videos. And what we'll do is we're going to put the links to her to the interview that she did, and some of the other links in the description, so that you all can go back and take a look at that. And if anybody out there knows something, say something. If you know something, say something. This is about these kids. And then you have a woman and a child sitting there in fear right now. And they have, and I want to bring this up too. We need to post that GoFundMe. They got a GoFundMe. And what was the number? I forgot. I told how much was it again, Marlon?
It was 18 or something like that, or 16,000.
Could you imagine? The city, I think it was Franklin, that she live in, should be putting up that kind of money. There's no way they should be in this position. And so we are asking for your help. This is not for us. We are not receiving a dime. Listen, let me make this clear. We do not know one Solomon. We don't know any of them. I got the story from a friend, and it really intrigued me. And we decided to talk about it because we're both very passionate about it. But this is not for us. This is for them. So if you could go into the GoFundMe and give $5, $10, $1, 1,000, 10,000, a million, whatever you can give, help them out so that they can get through this and hopefully get the help that they need. For more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe, and wake up before you go to sleep. Peace. We out of here.